All right, so are you ready to dive into something that, like, everyone's talking about?
I'm ready.
It's this drink Brazilian Mounjaro, and people are saying some pretty wild stuff about it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely taken the internet by storm.
For sure. And, like, the recipe itself is simple. You know, stuff you probably already have in your kitchen.
Yeah, what is it? Butterfly, pea flowers, lemon juice,
Yeah.
apple cider vinegar, honey.
Exactly. So we've got all this info about it, you know, the recipe and, like, all these supposed benefits.
Right.
So we're going to break it all down and see what the science actually says about this Brazilian Mounjaro. Is it just hype?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to it? Let's unpack it.
All right.
So first up, we've got these butterfly pea flowers.
Okay.
What's the story with those? They sound kind of exotic.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. They've got this long history in traditional medicine, like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine.
Oh, wow.
They're known for that vibrant blue color.
Oh, yeah, they make the drink this crazy blue.
Right, and that comes from anthocyanins, which are a type of antioxidant.
Okay, antioxidants. So those are the things that protect our cells from damage, right? But I feel like I've heard of different types of antioxidants.
You're exactly right. There are different types. And anthocyanins are really powerful, and they're linked to all sorts of benefits, reducing inflammation, supporting heart health. And there's even some research suggesting they might be good for brain function.
Oh, wow. So these pretty blue flowers could actually be good for our brains, too. That's fascinating.
It is. There's definitely more research needed, but it's really interesting to see how this traditional knowledge lines up with what we're finding out through modern science.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so speaking of traditional knowledge, let's move on to apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
It seems like it's been a health thing forever.
It really has, and it's made a huge comeback lately, especially for its potential to regulate blood sugar.
Yeah, the source material we're looking at for this deep dive is like super into the apple cider vinegar angle. They're saying it helps with everything blood sugar weight loss.
Right.
Is it really that powerful?
Well, let's look at the blood sugar thing first. There's some good evidence that apple cider vinegar can help regulate blood sugar levels. It basically slows down how fast your body digests starches.
Okay.
So the glucose is released into your bloodstream more slowly.
So it's not like magically erasing the sugar or anything.
No.
It's just like helping our bodies process it more slowly.
Yeah, exactly. And this can be really helpful for people who have trouble regulating their blood sugar, like people with insulin resistance.
Interesting. Now, what about the weight loss claims? Is there any truth to those?
There have been some small studies that suggest apple cider vinegar can make you feel fuller,
Okay.
and then you just end up eating less overall. The thinking is that the acinic acid in apple cider vinegar is doing that.
So maybe not a miracle fat burner,
Right.
but it could maybe help people control their appetite, which would then affect weight management.
That's the idea. But, weight loss is complicated. It's not just one thing.
It's like a whole lifestyle thing, right?
Exactly. Diet, exercise, all those healthy habits.
Okay, so speaking of balance, this drink also has lemon juice and honey in it. Are those just for taste, or do those ingredients like actually do something beneficial too?
Well, lemon juice has vitamin C, which is a good antioxidant, it's important for immune health. And honey's a natural sweetener, but it's also packed with antioxidants.
Okay, so we've got all these ingredients, and they each have their own potential benefits. But how do they work together in this Brazilian Mounjaro thing? Is there any evidence that the combo is like more powerful than the individual parts?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We know about the individual ingredients, but we don't really have much research on the effects of putting them all together in this specific way.
So while the idea of everything working together as harmoniously sounds awesome,
Sure.
we need to be careful about like saying it's definitely doing all these things without having the research to back it up.
Right. We've got to think critically about it.
Absolutely. Okay, so the source material we've got lists all these benefits for Brazilian Mounjaro, reducing cravings, improving gut health, even boosting metabolism.
Lots of claims.
We're going to need to unpack all of those one by one.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start with cravings. It's interesting to think about how that combo of apple cider vinegar and honey might affect those.
Yeah, how would that work?
What's the mechanism there?
Well, the apple cider vinegar could be helping to regulate blood sugar levels.
Okay, we talk about that.
Right, and that can help with cravings. And the honey, even though it is a sugar, is a more complex carb than like refined sugar.
So it would give you more sustained energy and prevent those crazy spikes and crashes that make you crave stuff.
Yeah, that's one possibility. And on top of that, honey has prebiotic properties.
Prebiotics, wait, I think a lot of people are more familiar with probiotics. What's the difference?
You're right, a lot of people mix those up.
Yeah.
So probiotics are the actual live bacteria, the good guys in your gut.
Oh, okay, so we need those to keep everything working, right?
Yes, and prebiotics are what those good bacteria eat.
Okay.
So they help the probiotics grow and thrive.
So prebiotics help the probiotics do their thing, which then leads to better gut health overall.
That's it.
Okay, so that's how the honey in this drink could be connected to gut health.
Right.
And we know that the apple cider vinegar might be helping with blood sugar and cravings.
Yeah.
But what about the butterfly pea flowers? Do those have any impact on gut health?
Well, they're full of antioxidants.
Right.
And some of those could actually have good effects on the lining of your gut.
So they might help protect your gut from damage.
That's one possibility. But we need more research to know for sure how butterfly pea flowers affect gut health.
So it seems like there's a lot of potential with all this.
There is.
But we have to be careful about getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, it's really important to separate what we actually know from what we're still figuring out.
For sure. Well, we've covered a lot in this first part of our Brazilian Mounjaro deep dive.
Definitely.
Talked about each ingredient, what their potential benefits are, and how they might all work together.
It's a fascinating drink.
It is, and there's so much more to discuss.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned, because in part 2 of this deep dive, we're going to look closer at all the specific claims about this Brazilian Mounjaro. We'll look at the evidence, see what's true and what's not,
Right.
and help you decide if this trendy drink is something you actually want to try.
Sounds good.
See you back here soon for more. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We are in the thick of it with this Brazilian Mounjaro.
Yeah, we're ready to dig into those claims.
Yes, so we took apart the ingredients, and now I guess the big question is, do the claims about this drink actually hold up?
That's what we're here to find out.
Right, because the source material we're looking at lists like 1 million potential benefits.
It does.
Reduce cravings, boost metabolism, improve gut health support, weight loss.
A lot to unpack.
Where do we even begin?
Well, I think it's important to remember that some of these claims kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
Like saying Brazilian Mounjaro helps with weight loss could be because it affects your appetite or blood sugar.
So it's not like directly burning fat.
Right.
But maybe it helps you feel full longer or stops those blood sugar spikes that make you crave stuff.
Exactly. And we already talked about how apple cider vinegar might do both of those things.
Yeah, but the source material also claims that this drink can boost metabolism. Isn't that different from just managing cravings and blood sugar?
It is. And I think we need to be careful about throwing around the phrase boost metabolism.
Okay.
Some studies have shown that apple cider vinegar can make you burn a few more calories,
Okay.
but the effect is usually pretty small.
So it's not turning us into like calorie burning machines.
Not exactly.
Right.
And you have to remember that metabolism is complicated. It's affected by your genes, your age, how active you are,
So many things.
tons of factors.
Right. It's not like there's one magic ingredient that just suddenly changes everything.
Yeah, no magic bullets, unfortunately.
Okay, so maybe the metabolism boosting claim's a bit overblown. What about the gut health part? The source material talks about probiotics and antioxidants working together to improve digestion.
Right? So we talked before about honey having prebiotic properties, meaning it feeds the good bacteria in your gut.
Yeah.
And then butterfly pea flower is full of antioxidants, which can protect the cells lining your gut.
So it's not about putting probiotics into your gut directly.
No.
It's more like creating an environment where the good bacteria that's already there can thrive.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of synergy comes in.
Okay.
The combination of prebiotics and antioxidants might be more effective for your gut than either one on its own.
That's fascinating. So it's like they're teaming up to create a stronger defense system for your gut.
That's a good way to put it, and there's a lot more research happening on the link between gut health and overall well-being.
It's crazy how much we're learning about the gut microbiome.
It is. It affects so many things.
Yeah.
Immune system, mental health, so much.
Okay, so we've talked about cravings and metabolism and gut health. What about the claim that Brazilian Mounjaro helps balance blood sugar?
Right.
We touched on that earlier, but I want to go a bit deeper.
Okay, so remember we talked about how apple cider vinegar is thought to slow down how quickly your body digests starches, which can help prevent those blood sugar spikes after you eat. And some research even suggests that honey might help regulate blood sugar too.
Wait, really? I'm kind of confused by that. I thought honey was a sugar. So how could it help balance blood sugar?
It seems counterintuitive, right? But honey is a complex carb,
Okay.
meaning it takes longer for your body to break it down compared to simple sugars like table sugar.
Oh, I see.
So the glucose gets released into your bloodstream more slowly, and you might not get those crazy spikes and crashes.
And those spikes and crashes are what can make you feel tired and crave sugary stuff and even mess with your mood.
Exactly. So the idea is that honey gives you that sweetness without totally messing up your blood sugar.
So it's all about choosing complex carbs over simple sugars.
Exactly. And keep in mind that not all honey is created equal. Raw honey has more enzymes and antioxidants compared to processed honey.
So it's not just about following the recipe, it's about the quality of the ingredients you use too.
Exactly. And this brings up another important point. We're all different.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Everyone has a different body, different dietary needs.
Totally. So even though there's some evidence that supports the claims about Brazilian Mounjaro, it's important to approach it with that personalized mindset, experiment a little bit.
Listen to your body.
Right. And of course, if you have any health concerns or you're already taking medications, talk to your doctor before making big changes to your diet.
Always a good idea to be safe. Okay, so we've gone through the claims, the science, the importance of individual differences. What's next in our Brazilian Mounjaro journey?
Well, we've talked a lot about the good stuff, but I think we should also consider if there are any downsides or things to watch out for.
Right. No ingredient is perfect.
Exactly.
Let's explore that in the final part of our deep dive. We'll wrap things up with some practical tips for trying Brazilian Mounjaro if you decide you want to.
Sounds good.
See you back too soon for the grand finale. All right, welcome back for the final part of our Brazilian Mounjaro deep dive.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah, we talked about everything from the history of those butterfly pea flowers to apple cider vinegar's potential effects on blood sugar.
We really dug into the science, the hype, and how important it is to remember that everyone's different.
Exactly. And before we wrap things up, I think we need to talk about the potential downsides of this drink.
Yeah.
Are there any precautions people should be aware of?
That's a really important question. We focused on the good stuff, but it's true that no ingredient is perfect.
Right, so let's start with the butterfly pea flower. Are there any concerns about drinking it?
Well, in general, it's considered safe for most people when consumed in normal amounts.
Okay.
But some people might have mild side effects like nausea, upset stomach, or diarrhea.
So you're saying start slow and see how your body reacts.
Exactly. It's always good to listen to your body, and pregnant or breastfeeding women should talk to their doctor before trying butterfly pea flower.
Good point. There's not a lot of research on how it affects them.
Right.
Okay, what about apple cider vinegar? We know it has a lot of supposed benefits.
Right.
But are there any drawbacks?
Well, it is acidic, so if you drink it straight, it can damage your tooth enamel over time.
Yikes.
It's really important to dilute it with water.
Okay.
Or have it as part of a recipe where it's mixed with other things.
So no souping straight apple cider vinegar?
Definitely not. Plus, some people get heartburn or indigestion after drinking it, especially if they have a sensitive stomach.
Makes sense. Oh, and I remember reading that apple cider vinegar can interact with some medications.
You're right. It can interact with things like diuretics and insulin.
So if you're taking any medication, it's crucial to talk to your doctor before trying apple cider vinegar.
Absolutely. They can tell you if there are any potential interactions, and they can help you figure out a safe dosage.
It's always better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so we've talked about butterfly pea flower and apple cider vinegar. What about honey? What should people know about that?
Well, it is a natural sugar, so it's important to consume it in moderation.
Especially if you're watching your sugar intake.
Yeah, or if you're worried about your blood sugar levels.
Right. Even though it might be a better choice than refined sugar, it still counts towards your total sugar for the day.
Exactly. And one more important thing, honey is not safe for babies under 1 year old.
Oh, that's right. Because of the risk of botulism.
Exactly. So even though it seems natural and healthy, it's not good for infants.
Okay, so we've gone over the potential downsides and precautions for all the ingredients. Any final thoughts on Brazilian Mounjaro as a whole?
Well, it's definitely a drink that has gotten a lot of attention, and there are good reasons for that. It combines ingredients that have been used in traditional medicine for a long time, and there's some scientific evidence to suggest it could have some health benefits.
But like we've been saying, it's important to be realistic. It's not a miracle cure,
Right.
but it could be a tasty and potentially healthy addition to a balanced lifestyle.
Exactly. And if you're thinking about trying it, do it thoughtfully. Start small, see how you feel, and if you have any concerns or health conditions, talk to your doctor first.
It's all about making informed choices and paying attention to your body. And that brings us to the end of our Brazilian Mounjaro deep dive.
We did it.
We covered the ingredients, the science, the hype, and the things to watch out for.
It was quite a journey.
It was. We hope this has been helpful for you and that you feel more confident about deciding whether or not Brazilian Mounjaro is something you want to try.
College is power.
It is. And when it comes to our health, it's all about constantly learning and discovering new things.
Absolutely.
So until next time, stay curious, get informed, and keep exploring.